and Taro, Witch of the Black Rose, on October 31st on Halloween at 9:22 p.m. A dark and seductive force grows over the town as thin threads of magic spread over the town like an enormous spider web. Meanwhile, Taro and John are instantly teleported to the old Salem Woods Cemetery with teleportation magic. As Taro and John have come to retrieve the body of a two-headed ghost girl named Sally and Susan, they end up getting confronted by John's dead ex-girlfriend named Brandy. Now, Brandy is not pleased to see John with a new girl, as she tells John that she's no longer his girlfriend. But Taro tells Brandy not to take out her frustrations on her, as she has nothing to do with her condition. But as Brandy asks more about what Taro and John are doing, they unwisely tell her they're after Taro's sister, who's going to use a book of spells to raise the dead. Now, Brandy is suddenly interested as Taro tells her it's a forbidden book of magic that can indeed raise the dead. Now, John makes contact with the two-headed ghost girl, Sally and Susan, as she has the ability to hone in on her own body. Now, as Taro knows the exact location where the girls' bodies are being held, Brandy asks if she can accompany them as she wants to keep the girls out of trouble. Now, reluctantly, Taro agrees to this, even though she knows it's a bad idea. Within the walls of the Tower of Raven Hex, she stands over the body of Sally and Susan, the two-headed ghost girl, as she gets ready to conduct her ritual. But as Raven receives an unlikely guest in the form of the ghost of Brandy, Raven commands her skeletal birds to attack, but it's no use as they cannot hurt Brandy. But Brandy tells Raven she didn't come here to fight, as she came to inquire about the Book of Forbidden Magic. Brandy tells Raven she wants her body back and she can help her complete her ritual. She also takes the liberty of warning Raven about the incoming danger in the form of John and Taro. But right outside, deep in the Salem Woods, Taro uses her magic to reveal a tower that is cloaked in a veil. Now, Sally and Susan can tell that their body is at the top floor of the tower. But before they can even attempt to get inside, they're rushed by a small army of skeletal pumpkin demons. John starts punching through the demons while Taro pulls out her sword to carve a path. But arching back against the darkened sky and filling its skeletal ribcage with cold air, one of the pumpkins belches out a stream of green flame, but Taro erects a barrier around herself just in a nick of time. She then uses her blade to carve a magical symbol in the sky and rain down witch's fire on the demon. But as John is starting to get overwhelmed, Taro throws several star-shaped charms in order to cut down the demons around him. Now, as John tells Taro he's ready to bust through the front door, Taro suspects there would be heavy resistance at the front, so she proceeds to grab John and fly to the top of the tower. But as Taro and John enter the top of the tower, unfortunately, Raven Hex is waiting on them, having been warned by Brandy. Taro and John end up trapped and entwined in several pumpkin tendrils. Now, Raven Hex seeks to usher in a new age where man will bow to witch. But Taro tries to warn her that the dawn she speaks of will not enlighten, it will only darken. But Raven can see it so clear, a vision of a world that smells of roses, jasmine, and bayberry. A world where disease, persecution, and intolerance are a thing of the past. But Taro warns her it will be a world of screams, with the only warmth being the witches being burnt at the stake. But Raven tells Taro she's wrong as she takes off and gets ready to implement the next part of her plan. But as all these pumpkin demons are closing in on John and Taro, all is not lost as Taro and John get some much needed backup in the form of Taro's winged cat. The feline claws scratches and rips through each of the pumpkins until Taro and John are free. But as Taro falls into the arms of John, the two of them lock eyes before impulse gets the better of them, and then the two of them share a kiss. But elsewhere in Gallow Hill, Salem, Raven Hex arrives in the town with her ghouls to carry out her orders. Salem was the same town that despised her, the same town that stole her innocence, and the same town that killed her father. But now Raven Hex has come back as she uses her magic to terrorize the place. Some random guy starts gushing over Raven's spiked titties, but Raven takes that guy's face and impels him through the eyes with her spiked titties. As Raven's demons and ghouls rain down absolute terror on the townspeople. Tonight, vengeance comes in the form of blackened feathers and bones as Raven's demons and ghouls cuts their way through the people with their razor-sharp talons. To be continued.